I want you to think about something for a moment. If you were planning a future where global trade becomes unstable, where sanctions are normal, and where currencies are increasingly weaponized, what would you want to control? Not money, resources. Today, I want to talk about silver and why China is positioning itself around it so deliberately. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is going to be a deeper conversation. Let's imagine we're sitting at a kitchen table, just having a casual conversation, but this is not surface level silver talk. Why is silver becoming part of a global strategy? Nothing here is accidental, and once you see the incentives, the behavior makes sense. I'm going to break this up into a few different parts here so you can help follow along. So we'll call this part one. Let me start with reality. Silver is embedded into modern life. No silver means no reliable electricity transmission, no advanced electronics, no large-scale solar, no EV, no advanced medical devices. See, silver isn't about wealth, it's about function. It's the metal that quietly keeps the lights on. And when something is that critical, it stops just being a commodity and it starts becoming infrastructure. Here's the structural problem. We've been running silver deficits for years. We consume more silver annually than we produce. The difference is filled by above-ground inventories, vaults, exchanges, stockpiles. But inventories are not mines. They don't replenish themselves. Once that buffer shrinks far enough, the system doesn't gradually adjust, it just snaps. Why China cares, the real motive. So why does China care so much about silver? Because China is planning for a world that looks very different from the one we've lived in since the 1990s. A world where trade isn't guaranteed, supply chains are political, sanctions are common, and self-sufficiency equals survival. China watched what happened when the US weaponized the dollar. They saw nations cut off from banking systems literally overnight, and they learned the lesson. Never let your economy depend on someone else's permission. Silver as a strategic insurance. China doesn't see silver as something to trade, they see it as insurance. Insurance for manufacturing, insurance for energy transition, insurance for military and technological independence. By keeping silver inside their borders, they protect their ability to build, no matter what happens globally. Why exports matter more than price? Here's something most investors misunderstand. Strategies don't show up in price first, they show up in availability. So when material stops flowing freely, premiums start to rise, delivery times stretch, and contracts quietly change. By the time the price chart reacts, the decision has already been made. That's why silver export tightening matters, even if spot price looks calm. Why the West is exposed. The West built an economy on efficiency, not resilience. Just-in-time supply chains, outsourced refining, minimal stockpiles. That works until it doesn't. You can't restart a mine in 6 months. You can't build refining capacity overnight. Silver supply is slow, but silver demand is accelerating. This is how economic powers shift. Powers don't shift through headlines. It shifts through leverage. Control the inputs, and you influence the outcomes. Silver is small enough to go unnoticed, but critical enough to matter everywhere. That's why it's dangerous to ignore. The big realization. Here's the realization I want to leave with you. The world isn't running out of silver, but access to silver is becoming conditional. And when access becomes conditional, ownership becomes valuable. That's the pivot point. The solution, simple, boring, but effective. So you want the solution for regular people? Number one is don't panic, don't FOMO, and definitely do not leverage. No chasing headlines. The solution is really kind of boring, and that's why it works. It's simply hold physical silver. Silver you can touch, silver with no counterparty risk, silver that doesn't care about trade policy. You're not betting against the system, you're stepping outside of its weakest link. I don't stack silver because I think the world is ending. I stack silver because the world is changing, and history shows that real assets matter most during the transitions. Silver isn't an excitement, it's insurance. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this. Just a quick financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Silver and precious metals are volatile. Prices can move against you and may underperform for long periods. This is my personal analysis and why I chose to hold physical silver. So here's a call to action. If this made you think, then please hit the like button. Subscribe if you want deeper silver and macro discussions, not hype. And I really want to hear from you. Do you see silver as money, or do you see it as strategic insurance? And I look forward to seeing you all on the next one.